What is going on, everyone? We have the news of the day, and there's three topics here. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between Milwaukee and Toronto. We have Brooks Koepka and the PGA Championship, which was exciting without a doubt, especially down the stretch. And real briefly, the third topic, I'll just throw it out there. The San Jose Sharks got waxed by the St. Louis Blues, and the Blues are leading the Western Conference Finals series 3-2. Okay, so going into Game 3, the Raptors win in double overtime. But I'll be honest with you, the Milwaukee Bucks, they had no business, literally no business even being in double overtime. And my biggest takeaway from this isn't the fact that the Raptors won the game. It's how the hell did they even allow Milwaukee to be involved in that game? There's no excuses for that. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm pissed off that I lost. But at the end of the day, I sit there and I say, we can destroy this team. Honestly, there is no reason why the Bucks should have been involved. And I look at Toronto and I say, they allowed them to be. Now, you have to give them credit for taking over at the end of that game, because Kawhi had some steals, Kawhi made some plays, they hit, he had a nice dunk, and they made the most of their opportunities, like when Milwaukee somewhat fell apart and had a backcourt violation, miscommunication. The Raptors took advantage of that and made it happen. But there's no reason why it should have even went to the first overtime. Toronto should have shut the door there, and they didn't. They allowed a space. They allowed a window to open for Milwaukee, and I take that as, what the hell are you doing? I take that as, I don't know if they're strong enough to really get the job done at the end of this series. How did Danny Green play like that? How did Van Vliet play like that? How did the Raptors allow that many offensive rebounds? How did the Raptors allow George Hill to make those shots late? How did Pascal Siakam, even though he had a decent game statistically, how did he miss 2 free throws late? 2 important free throws. It's unacceptable. There's no reason why the Raptors should have let the Bucks into that game late. It was one of those games where the Bucks were just hanging around. And you knew at some point they were just going to flip the switch and be able to get something going. And they did, but they somewhat crumbled and they somewhat played bad down the stretch. But once again, I look at this and I say, the Bucks should be okay. Because, one, they're playing more guys. And you see Kawhi Leonard banged up, even though he helped this team win with 36-9-5. You see him banged up. You see the difference in roster depth, which is funny because that's what we praised Toronto for all season long. I don't know if going to the amount of guys the Raptors did can compete with how deep the Bucks are going. If I'm the Bucks, I'm pissed off, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated because we lost a chance to go up 3-0 and almost solidify a definite series win. But it's not over. For as poor as they played, for as many free throws as they missed, for how bad Giannis played, they went to double overtime and was that close. Now, Giannis got screwed because that 6th foul in overtime was so obvious that it was a charge, and that actually got him out of the ball game. And from there, the Bucks lost a huge player. And I say a bad game. I know he had 12 points and 23 rebounds. He grabbed a ton of boards, which is big, but he didn't have that domination type game that he is used to having. Who was big? Brogdon and George Hill for the Bucks. Those guys stepped up big time. And for Toronto, you had Kawhi Leonard do his thing. You had Pascal Siakam have one of his better games. Gasol woke up a little bit. Nice play out of Powell off the bench. But something, if I was a Raptors fan, would still irritate me. Because they should have just stepped on their throats. The Raptors should have just took the win in regulation. They played good enough to. And allowing the Bucks to be able to make plays late, that would really bother me. I know at the end of the day what really matters is it's 2-1. That's all that matters. It's 2-1. It doesn't matter how. It just matters that that's what it is. But it seems a little too... It would make my stomach feel a little queasy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We'll see on Tuesday. Because I think this loss is going to this loss for the Bucks is going to fuel them. It's going to piss them off. It's going to irk the hell out of them. Because they look at it as, we had a chance to steal this game, make it 3-0, and we didn't. So let's make sure we do it in Game 4. We'll see how it all plays out. And maybe they look at that Kawhi Leonard situation. He's got some problem going on with his knee. Now he's battling through it. He played, 52 minutes? He battled through it. But how much longer can he be the ultimate guy, the robot, if he's that banged up? He's going to have other guys step up. You can't be having Danny Green type nights. You can't be having Van Vliet type nights and think you're going to consistently outplay the Bucks. It's just not going to happen. With all due respect to Pascal Siakam, I can't rely that he's going to have those type of nights that he had tonight. He missed the big 2 free throws, which I criticized him for, but his all-around game was solid. But where has that been all playoffs? I'd bet my money that he doesn't have that type of night again. They're going to need more. They're going to need more people to step up, and we'll see on Tuesday how it's going to be in Toronto again. But I'm just saying, my takeaway out of this game is the Bucks will be okay because the Raptors, they're not solid enough. They're keeping the option open for the Bucks to come back in and make noise late. That would scare me. So moving on to portion number 2 here. Brooks Koepka and that PGA Championship. This dude was so dominant throughout, except late on the 4th day. On the first day, he shoots a 63. The second day, he shoots a 65. Then he responds on the 3rd day with a 70. Today, on the 4th day, my man ends up bogeying the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 17th to finish 8 under. Dustin Johnson, he almost snuck in there and won the damn thing. He finished 6 under. But that was so close to being one of the most historic collapses in golf history. The way he was playing throughout the first 3 days and early on in the 4th day, I'm thinking to myself, damn, this guy is on another level. He was even making noise in the Masters. And we all know Tiger Woods brought the thing home, but he was making noise then. The way he was playing, hitting the fairways, the putts, the short game, it was all on the same page. It was at an elite level. And out of nowhere, he gets the nerves. He feels the jitters. He hears the crowd. I mean, he's bombing shots over the green. He's chipping back onto the green, but he's missing and it rolls off. I mean, what the hell was he doing? Missing putts within 5 feet? Missing putts that he should drain? Sitting there watching, I truly did believe that he was going to blow it. He was just not going to make it happen. He was going to find a way to lose. But he got lucky there, and he stuck through it, and he found a way. I mean, he found a way. I don't know how. His game early throughout this tournament was so special. Clicking every part of his game. And if you're a golfer, and I call myself a golfer, but I'm a summer golfer, I shoot in the 90 type guy. High 90s, if you will. To have it like that, to make sure your game is on fire in every asset, when it's driving, short game, putting, everything, that doesn't happen. Not to that level. He was creaming the whole entire field, crushing the field. It should have never gotten that close, and it smelled like there was an epic collapse in New York. I truly don't know how he won. Well, I mean, I guess if you think about it, he won because his lead was so much. His lead was so monstrous that the collapse didn't hurt as bad as it would have if he wasn't tearing it up so early on into this thing. But he's missing putts that this dude drains with his eyes closed. And that's how it gets when that pressure really gets to you, and it's so mental. It's so easy to think, well, you just don't think about the last hole. You just move on to the next tee box, you tee off, and you just move forward. But after you bogey 11, 12, How are you feeling at the 13th tee box? Then you bogey that. How are you feeling on the 14th after you tee off? You're telling me your body doesn't feel the pressure? Your heartbeat going crazy? He was something else, though. He was something else. I guess it's easy to look back on now and say, what the hell happened if it was him, than if he was to lose it and then have to look back and say, what the hell happened. But Brooks Koepka, he sure showed his dominance early on in this thing, and he was able to hold on. So let me know your comments on both of these subjects, and even the St. Louis Blues and the Sharks one. I want to know your thoughts on the Western Conference Finals for the NHL. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.